Welcome again to our series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis, in which we look to the writings of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother for answers to the most salient topics of our modern world, especially those relating to our youth and the challenges they face. Recently, I addressed the students at a well-respected university in India, and a number of them said their main problem was laziness. This, then, is the topic for today. The Mother. Of course, laziness is a kind of tamas, but in laziness there is an ill will, a refusal to make an effort, while tamas is inertia. One wants to do something, but one can't. I remember a long time ago having been among some young people, and they remarked that when I decided to get up, I used to get up with a jump, without any difficulty. They asked me, "How do you do it?" We, when we want to get up, have to make an effort of will to be able to do it. They were so surprised, and I was surprised by the opposite. I used to tell myself, how does it happen? When one has decided to get up, one gets up. No, the body was there like that, and it was necessary to put a will into it, to push this body for it to get up and act. It is like that. This is tamas. Tamas is a purely material thing. It is very rare to have a vital or mental tamas. It may occur, but through contagion. I believe it is more a tamas of the nerves or the brain than vital or mental tamas. But laziness is everywhere, in the physical, the vital, the mind. Generally, lazy people are not always lazy, not in all things. If you propose something that pleases them, amuses them, they are quite ready to make an effort. There is much ill will in laziness. So, we justify all our weaknesses. It is not a positive want of self-confidence. It is a lack of confidence in what the divine grace can do for us. To justify one's weaknesses is a kind of laziness and inertia. Well, when one doesn't want to make an effort to correct oneself, one says, "Oh, it is impossible. I can't do it. I don't have the strength. I am not made of that stuff. I don't have the necessary qualities. I could never do it." It is absolute laziness. It is in order to avoid the required effort. When you are asked to make a progress, "Oh, it is beyond my capacity. I am a poor creature. I can do nothing." That's all. It's almost ill will. It is extreme laziness, a refusal to make any effort. One accepts all one's defects and incapacities in order not to have to make the necessary effort to overcome them. One says, "I am like that. I can't be otherwise." It is a refusal to let the divine grace work in you. It is a justification of your own ill will. Now I'm going to put a question. Why do not people practice? Do you know? You? Why people do not practice? Mother turns around asking everyone, you and you? And someone says, perhaps because people are lazy? Surely it is one of the chief reasons. And then they cover their laziness with good excuses, of which the first one is to say, I cannot, I do not know, or I have tried and did not succeed, or again, I do not know by which end to begin. It does not matter what reason. The very first one that comes up. Well, people do not practice because they do not find it worthwhile to take the trouble. That also is part of laziness. It needs too much effort. But you cannot live without effort. If you rejected all effort, you would not stand on your legs, nor walk, nor even eat. To say, oh, human nature is like this, oh, we are in the inconscience, oh, we are in the ignorance, all this is laziness and weakness. And behind this laziness and weakness, there is a huge bad will. There. This is all nonsense. We have not to busy ourselves with the next life, but with this one, which offers us, till our very last breath, all its possibilities. To put off for the next birth what one can do in this life is like putting off for tomorrow what one can do this very day. It is laziness. It is only with death that the possibility of integral realization ceases. So long as one is alive, nothing is impossible. How can one get out of this mental laziness and inertia? Mother, by wanting to, with persistence and obstinacy, by doing daily a mental exercise of reading, organization, and development. This must alternate in the course of the day with exercises of mental silence in concentration. Mother, how can one get rid of laziness? Laziness comes from weakness, or from lack of interest. For curing, the first, one must become strong. For curing, the second, one must do something interesting. Sweet Mother, you have told me that one must become strong to cure weakness. Mother, would you tell me how one can become strong? First, you must want it integrally. And then you must do what is needed. How to get rid of mental inertia? The cure is not in trying to wake up the mind, but in turning it, immobile and silent, upward towards the region of intuitive light, in a steady and quiet aspiration. And to wait in silence for the light to come down and flood your brain, which will, little by little, wake up to this influence and become capable of receiving and expressing the intuition. Love and blessings. But there are many who think that they have surrendered and tell you, I no longer do anything myself. I have given myself to the divine. The divine ought to do everything for me. This they call surrender. That is to say, it is a movement of laziness and tamas, which doesn't want to make any effort and would very much like the divine to do everything for you, because that is much more comfortable. To sit down in an inert passivity and say, if I must have faith, I shall have it. The divine will give it to me, is an attitude of laziness, of unconsciousness, almost of bad will. For the inner flame to burn, one must feed it. One must watch over the fire, cast into it the fuel of all errors that one seeks to throw off, all that delays the advance, all that obscures the path. If you do not feed the fire, it smolders under the ashes of your unconsciousness and your inertia. And then it is not years, but centuries and lives will pass before you arrive at your goal.